Good morning, everybody. Welcome in. It's Coffee Country and Cody, Kelly Sutton, Charlie Mattos, Aaron Cooper, Jeff Roberts, and Master Control. And we are live. You hit the button and we went live, streaming all around the world on the Circle Now app. Let's see, I was practicing when I was in California. I was telling people where they could watch us. And I was like, the Peacock app has us, but you can also find us on Circle Now. You can find us on Zumo, Fubi. They thought I was making this up. Vizio.
Well, Fubo and Tubi.
Yeah.
You
Fubo
combined
and
them into Fubi.
Then I was making them up. Okay,
yes,
that's fine.
And also streaming on circlecountry.com.
Oh, very cool.
Streaming on the website, so you can watch us there as well.
That's an easy place to find us.
On YouTube forever after every show on the WSM Radio YouTube channel.
Yes.
Forever and ever, amen. That's where we live. Thanks for hanging out with us this morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us. And a very happy special birthday to Tom, who is he 3 today? Is that 3, Jeff? Jeff Roberts has the most adorable baby boy who's wearing a Bluey t-shirt and has on Bluey ears.
Is that from his Bluey birthday party?
He had a Bluey birthday party. Oh, you guys knocked it out of the park. Look how precious. Wow. 3 years old today. Happy birthday, Tom.
Aww.
So cute.
I have to admit, I still enjoy Bluey.
Bluey's fantastic.
Bluey's fun, yeah.
Okay, can we talk about the Bluey episode that gutted me when they were going to move and then they decided not to? Have you seen this episode?
I have not. Oh, no.
I mean, I don't know who these people are writing for these days, but it brought me to tears almost.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they were going to leave their house, and Bluey's like, but this is where we grew up. This is where I took my first steps. Oh, what? Come on, writers. You're crushing over there. Yeah. And they ended up staying in the house, by the way.
Okay.
Just throwing it out there. Spoiler alert.
There's one episode called Facey Time, which is very funny as well.
Facey Time.
Just trust me on that.
Do you
it's
know
very
who's
good.
probably not into Bluey yet, but will be very soon? MacKenzie Porter's little girl. She just had a baby girl.
Like brand new.
Still very, very new baby girl. She's coming into the studio to talk to us in just a little bit. So we're going to find out more about what she's doing. And she's going to be at the Opry tonight.
Yeah, so you'll be hanging out with her.
I will be.
And a chance for folks to, if you're going tonight, to be a part of something special after the show.
That's right. If you buy her album, which is being released, is today the...
it came out Friday.
Yeah, I was like, what is the date? Where are we? What time? It just came out. So if you buy it in the Opry shop, then you get one of, I think it's first 80 people get to go in and have a Q&A with her after the show tonight. And I'll be there hosting that. So it's going to be really, really cool. We're also talking about all things Stagecoach. I just got off the plane last night. I think I'm here. So we'll talk all about that. I'm not sure what time zone I might be in. First round of ACM performers was announced. So that is coming up. And how John Bon Jovi and Shania have a connection. Didn't see that coming.
Okay, I'm ready.
Stay tuned for that.
My mom and dad.
Oh, really?
Yes. Well, remember the running joke of my Bon Jovi being on my Christmas card?
Gosh, that's right. That's right. That's right.
He looked like my dad.
I thought your mom and dad had a connection to both of them, and I'm like, oh, that's really cool.
No, it's just me being silly.
We have a big announcement. Aaron Cooper is actually Aaron Bon Jovi. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. You made it just in time because we have a special guest in the studio with us here on Coffee Country and Cody, MacKenzie Porter. It's so good to see you.
How are you?
Congratulations, Mama.
Thank you so much. Thank you. You're like in the thick of it, and everything. I feel like everything's happening at once in the most beautiful way.
It really is. So, baby girl Bowie.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
First of all, cutest name ever.
Thank you so much.
What her full name is?
Bowen.
Bowen.
Yeah, but
is
we
that family? Is that a family name?
No,
or just
it's
one you
not.
loved?
We just loved it, and we loved like Bowie, Bo. We call her Bojangle, Bocephus, like all these things.
Possibilities are endless.
Don't call that sweet baby Bocephus.
My husband literally calls her that. I'm like, stop calling.
Listen, brother.
Yeah,
Man of Steel.
oh my gosh. So she's still little. Is she 2 months old yet?
She
Just
is
turned-
this week. She's 7 weeks,
Oh,
so almost 2
wow.
months. Yeah.
Okay.
So we're like, in
Yes.
the trenches.
Really, truly.
Yeah.
I
But
turned 720 weeks last year.
Good for you.
It's months, excuse me.
I literally,
Yeah.
I always was like, it's so annoying when people say weeks and then you have a baby and you
And
say
you're
weeks.
I get it. I totally get it. So how are you navigating all of it? Because people tell you all of these things until you actually go through it, you have no idea. I was hosting an early morning show and getting up at 2:00 in the morning. And when I had my daughter, they're like, you're going to be so sleep deprived. And I'm like, nah, I'm sleep deprived anyway. No, it's a whole nother level.
I know. You can't, like, I was the exact same as you. Like, I was like, I can have the album come out. Like, I'll travel right away. And now doing it, I'm like, holy crap, this is hard. But luckily, like, my husband's amazing. We have a little bit of help helping us too during the day. And we're just day by day. Like, each morning we're like, okay, this is going to work today and might not work tomorrow, but we're just going to try a bunch of things.
Yeah. Is she sleeping okay?
She's sleeping like 3-hour stints. I don't know if that's okay or not. I mean, yeah.
At that age, sure. You take what you get at that age. Yeah.
Totally. If I can get 3 hours in a row, I'm like, amazing.
That's amazing.
And the tendency is when they sleep, you want to do stuff.
I know.
But if you can sleep when they sleep,
it's so hard,
it's so much
though.
better though.
I know. It's during the night, obviously, but during the day, I'm like, I have things to do, or even like clean the house.
I know. I would like to take a shower.
Yeah.
I got to do all these
I texted
bottles.
my friend. I'm like, how are you keeping your house clean? Like, I'm totally curious. Like, how do you keep it? She's like, oh, I have somebody helping me. I'm like, okay.
Okay, speaking for the male population,
Yeah.
keeping the house clean and showering, not really that high on our
No,
priority.
yeah,
So we're
well.
fine. We'll just sleep.
I do remember like having these moments too where I'm like, how am I going to do that? Like taking a shower one day when my husband was gone, I'm like, what do I do? And then I realized I had that little bouncy seat that kind of leans back, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to take that in the bathroom and I'm going to put her in that. And that way she can see me and I can see her.
Yep.
And you figure it out.
Yeah.
But it is that weird like panic going, I've never done this before.
Totally. Everything's new, and the first time everything's scary.
Yeah.
I do the same thing. Like, I've gotten out of the shower soaking wet so many times, like pick her up, rock her, then get back in the shower.
Just to make sure. Yeah.
So,
You good? You
yeah.
good? Well, and then you decide to release the album at the same time.
Yeah. Like a psycho.
How did it all come about where you were like, yes, we need to get the album out? Or did you already have it in the works? What's the time frame?
It was in the works, and it was actually supposed to come out in the fall. And then things got delayed with the studio. We added some more songs. It just took longer than we thought. And at that time, I found out I was pregnant. And so we all decided, like, okay, we either rush it, which didn't feel like the right thing to do. We either push it like months and months, or we try to do it all at the same time. And that was when my naive self was like, I can do it all.
It's the Nashville mentality. Like, let's do everything all together at the same time and overbook ourselves.
I know. I mean, I will never forget this time in my life. That's for sure. It's,
Well, but at the same time, you don't know any better.
You
so
don't know
you're
any
just doing it, and you're like, yeah, you know what? It's like those people that have twins first.
Oh,
I
I cannot imagine.
right? But then if you only know that, then you're
Right.
like, oh, okay, well,
Yeah.
this is what we do.
Yep.
So
Yeah, you make it work.
Well,
her second baby is out now. Nobody's born with a broken heart. Came out last week. What were you going to say?
we were
Charlie?
talking off the air when I got shushed. So we've always loved your voice, but last time at the Opry, I mean, you were very close to having Bowie.
Yeah.
And to sing that well 8-9 months pregnant is so hard. I mean, I can't even imagine.
Yeah,
right?
the
But-
lung
but-
capacity is definitely like
Yeah.
diminished. But you know what? I had been touring the whole time. Like, I did my headlining tour up until I think I was 7 months pregnant, and so I would just adjust. Like, we would the odd time we would like add an extra couple bars for me to like catch my breath, or I would know like in this song I can't move around as much because you know the lines are longer or whatever, and I'm carrying this baby. So, but yeah, she's already been on tour like across the world in my tummy.
Okay, so does she calm down when you sing?
She does. She absolutely does. And like,
That's so
even
cool.
when my husband sings, or when like our nanny's singing, like that is like the thing that calms her down.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so good.
It's so sweet.
I love that. So let's talk about the album. Album is out. It's 19 tracks.
Yes.
That's a
Yes.
lot. But now that you said that it was delayed and you wanted to add some stuff, that makes more sense. So,
Yeah, and we had 9 of the songs come out before, so we
Okay.
did like a slow kind of drop, and then last Friday the last 10 came out. But I hadn't put out music like a full length record for a while, so I wanted to make sure like I gave my fans enough for their patience.
That's true. And when you do 19, then you have so many things that you can play and talk about. And I know you're going to be on the Opry tonight.
Yes, I'm so excited.
So you get to play some new stuff from the album tonight.
Yes, I'm gonna play all new stuff from the album tonight.
Very
yeah, my
cool.
5th time. So
Is it your 5th?
yes, it's like, I mean,
Are
every
you bringing
single time-
baby?
I'm not gonna bring her.
Okay.
Tonight. She's still so fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I get it. I get it.
Yeah, once she gets like a little bit older, like we still haven't done restaurants or crowds or anything yet with her, but I can't wait for that because I really want her to come to all my shows.
Make her debut.
Yes. She needs it. Well, she was in my tummy. She was actually in my
That's
tummy
true.
twice.
Yep.
The first time was a secret. Nobody knew. And I was literally throwing up backstage because I had morning sickness. And the second time, thank God, people knew and I was like able to tell people.
That's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good. Well, and I will tell you, when you bring her, just make sure it's on a night that I'm there, and I'll just take care.
Okay. Hey.
When you walked in, I'm like, you didn't bring the baby? Because I'll just hold her. I mean, I did it last time we had somebody
Kind of put
in
her
here.
on the podium. Put him on the podium. Put her on the podium.
Right? I'll
Just
just
like a
hold
big
her.
rocking chair.
Look, you
yeah.
get really good at like the hip hold when they get a little bit bigger. She's still too little.
You still got to support her
Right.
head and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, when she gets a little bit bigger, you're going to realize you're like, oh, that hip hold, man, I can do anything. If you give me an arm and a hip, I'm good. Yeah, I can hold that
I've
baby.
definitely noticed like my arm strength and my back are getting stronger because you're constantly just like holding them and rocking them and you're like, oh my gosh.
Well, and I have to tell you, this is really funny. I didn't notice this, but a friend of mine is like, next time you're in line for anything, like in line at a concert or in line to ride a ride or at the grocery store, look in front of you and you can pick the moms out because you have a mom sway. You will sway back and forth for the rest of your life. Even if the baby is not in your arms, it is just an instinctual. You're standing there and you're already swaying.
Really?
And I'm like, oh my gosh, I do that.
Yeah.
So
I've heard that where you hear a baby crying and you start like rocking.
Yeah,
You're like,
I need to take care of this child.
yeah.
Coffee, country, and Cody.
Good morning, everybody. We are chatting with MacKenzie Porter just ahead of her Grand Ole Opry show tonight. Going to be 5th appearance for you. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Do you remember what it was like the first time?
Oh, absolutely. My whole family flew into town.
They did?
So I'm from Canada. So my grandma flew in, my cousins, my parents, my sister. It was like a big deal for not only me, but my whole family.
And what did they think after? I mean, obviously they knew about the Opry, but did they have like the idea? Had they been? Had anybody
They had never
been?
been,
Okay.
but they had been, obviously, I mean, they're huge country music fans. So they had always heard about it and watched videos and listened. But I let them I didn't let them, but they were able to come and stand on the stage and see sound check. And my sister sang with me that night. It was just like a really special time.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, it was very cool.
We flirted with it. We threw this out there one morning, but we could really do Canadian night at the Opry.
Oh,
because we
sure.
had Terry
Yes.
Clark close, but
Yes.
obviously you would be there.
Yes.
Both
Lindsay
both
L.
Tennille's.
Yes.
Lindsay L. Brett Kissel.
Brett Kissel.
I mean, that'd be
Yeah.
quite the night. Have everybody get special rates for
I would love it.
the flight stuff.
Yeah.
Man, I love that song.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You
I do
guys
too.
sound great.
I the first time I heard it, I was like, we need to put that on the record.
How did you find this girl?
I don't honestly know. Somebody from my record label had heard this work tape, and what I'm saying, it was just like a phone recording.
Yeah.
And she sent it to me, and I sent it to my producer, and we all just fell in love with it, and asked her, "Can I cut that?"
And it was on the Kelly Clarkson show.
Yes, yesterday. It was pretty cool.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations, Emma Klein. What else you got?
I know, seriously. Well, her and I are gonna write now together.
Oh,
So we
good.
can, try to work on something else for the next record.
Oh, that is so good.
Yeah,
Such
it's
a
very
good-
cool when you find a young girl like that, so talented, and
Yeah.
she wrote this by herself, so that's crazy.
I was just looking at all of the writers that you have on here, and I mean Hillary Lindsay, and you've got songs from Emily Wise Band is on here. Just some of the premier songwriters in town. How does it feel when you know that you're getting pitched some of these songs from incredible songwriters? Now you're at that level where people are like, I want MacKenzie to sing my song.
Well, I mean, it's always just a huge compliment when anybody thinks of me after they've written a song. So
Right.
Emily is a really good friend of mine, so she'll send me
She's
some
so
songs, or I have Parker Welling or Lauren Hungate or any of those girls where we're friends, and they're like, hey, I wrote this for you today. The fact that they would spend their time in their session where they could write for anybody, writing for me, it feels very it's such a big compliment.
And the other great thing is the compliment that you have is that you're choosing the best songs. You have several on here, and we know you're a phenomenal writer. So it's great that you're like, hey, I've written some songs and I like these of mine, but I'm listening to outside cuts too.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what Nashville is so good at, and they've done that for years and years and years, that people have cut outside songs. And I'm a artist and I play live, but I also write songs, but that's not my main thing that I do every single day.
Yeah.
Where these people do, and they're so good at it, and that's their main gift and talent. And so, if they write something that feels like my story, then of course I feel like the best song wins.
Best song wins.
And congrats on Big Loud Records. What a great label home for the album.
Yes,
Yeah.
I mean, they have been my champions for so long. Joey Moe Joey Moe produced the whole record. Joey Moe Records, that's his #1 record.
It's a subsidiary.
But he, I met him back in, my gosh, like 2015 probably.
Wow.
And he's been my guy since then. And he's such an amazing producer, and also just like, somebody who's very encouraging to me. I literally was in there the other day, and we were just like going over songs for the next thing.
I love the line, "I won't waste your time with this one's different." That's why I don't tell any of my friends about anybody until we're like 9 dates in.
We try to get it out of her, but she doesn't talk about it enough.
You
like
gotta
teasing
get
her.
past the several days.
Yes. Yeah, there's a
Before you tell
benchmark
people.
there. Such good music. I love seeing you. I get to hang out with you tonight at the Grand Ole Opry.
Yes, I'm so excited.
Congratulations on the new album. Congratulations on the baby.
Thank you.
We're going to have a party tonight.
I know,
so.
we already have a party. It's Mama's night out.
Mama's
I'm
night
a
out.
babysitter.
We're going to be there. Daly and Vincent. Dylan James is making his debut. Charlie McCoy is going to be there. Don Schlitz, Killer Bees, Chapel Hart, Ashley McBride, and MacKenzie Porter tonight on the Grand Ole Opry. We've got more still to come right here on Coffee, Country, and Cody. All right, let's talk about Stagecoach, everybody. Just got back off the plane last night. Most of my stuff made it back in one piece, including me. So we're here.
That's the most important part.
That's the most important part. It is a very interesting festival. We were just talking about this. MacKenzie Porter was just in here and we were talking about Stagecoach and what it's like, and it's a vibe. Her parents are in Palm Springs, so she's been to Coachella a ton. She gets it. But it is like a mini city when you get out there, because they've done this festival for so long. Coachella first and then Stagecoach. The infrastructure there is just unbelievable. So absolutely gorgeous. I don't know, 80,000 plus people out there. We were hosting. That's me and Amber Anderson, my co-host on Country Heat Weekly. This is us partying. There's the backstage look at where we're going. I'm running to set. Charles Wesley Godwin killed it. He was incredible. He had his own billboard. Brittany Spencer was out there. She talked to us. Jelly Roll, who we have dubbed the mayor of Stagecoach. And then here's Willie doing Roll Me Up and Smoke Me When I Die with Lucas Nelson on stage with him, the rest of the family. His great-granddaughter came out. And then in a true I'm in the desert moment, we had a hot air balloon that just showed up in the backyard of where we were staying.
Naturally.
I'm not kidding you. I walk out that morning, I'm having coffee on the back deck, and I look and I'm like, what is that? It's a hot air balloon. I felt like I was in a real life Soarin' from Disney. You know how Disney has the hot air balloons?
Absolutely. Yeah.
That was it. So stunning, beautiful place. And thank you to everybody on all of the crews from Amazon Music and Amazon Prime Video for making it happen. It was really, really amazing.
And a little happier weather this year, right?
Incredible weather. I mean, highs were in the 80s, lows. But when the sun goes down, because you are in the desert, it drops. Like, you get it, you know? And so we always had jackets and stuff like that. But if you hear in my voice, there's still a whole lot of sand.
A little
And
dusty.
You saw the picture. The last one is us with bandanas on. And I thought for a while it was like, oh, these California people are trying to be country with their bandanas. No, it's because you're inhaling the dust.
Oh,
so you
yeah.
have to have
You
it.
need something, right?
Yeah. So I could rob a stagecoach at any point, because now I've got a bandana. But it was really cool. Miranda Lambert, one of our headliners, and she got to debut a new song. This was night 2. So Saturday night, she was our closer. She did her new song called Wranglers. And let me just tell you, it is in the vein of kerosene, of gunpowder and lead. It's one of those I'm going to fire you up songs. She said it fits right in with that repertoire. She's like, yeah, it's me. It's very on brand with me. She also brought out Reba that night. So Reba showed up as a surprise guest. People lost their minds.
How was Fancy, the two of them?
Insane.
That just seems unreal.
Insane. Like, it was incredible. There were so many guest performances throughout the entire weekend. Jelly Roll was just walking on stage with everybody.
Yep.
Maddie and Tay walked on stage with Jelly Roll and Post Malone, which, by the way, highlight for me of the entire festival was Post Malone's set. Because we didn't know what we were going to get. I mean, he's not country, really. You know, he has one like toe in country. So we weren't sure what we were going to get. The fact that he did all 90s covers, he brought out Dwight Yoakam, he brought out Sarah Evans, and he brought out Brad Paisley.
Who was his bartender as well.
Who was his bartender as well. Brad, go get me a beer. So when we were driving to Stagecoach, there was a billboard that said, Post Malone is doing country covers. Text your favorite country song too, and it had a number. And I mean, I'm sure that he probably already had his set. Obviously, he knew who was going to be there. But people were texting their favorite country songs to him so that he could cover them. And he killed it.
He sounded great. He really did.
So he spent 6 months here in Nashville writing for a country project. I don't know when that's coming out, but he's been here. He's been hanging out with friends, Hardy being one of them. So we'll see when the full country album is coming out very, very soon. Okay, one more thing that we want to tell you about. ACM announced its first round of performers, 2024 ACM Awards coming up on May the 16th. We know now Kane Brown, Jason Aldean, Lainey Wilson, Jelly Roll, Chris Stapleton, Miranda Lambert, Thomas Rhett, Cody Johnson, and our host, Reba McEntire, will all be performing on stage at the Ford Center. The Star in Frisco, Texas is where it's going down.
Thank you for coming to see Jerry Jones to the Dallas Cowboys.
I was like, you gotta do it? You gotta do it?
Jerry Jones.
We can't do it without Bill.
Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys.
I'm getting better. At least I could get it out this time.
Thank you for calling Jerry Jones.
Yeah.
That's the thing. He was
Please, I
just
just wish you get your photo with him.
That's
you have
all
to.
I want.
Yes.
My life will be complete if I can get a photo with Jerry Jones. Additional performers are going to be announced coming up. It's the 59th Annual Academy of Country Music Awards, hosted by Reba. Live stream starts on May the 16th at 8 p.m. on Prime Video.
So you're home for about 2 weeks before you go back on tour.
Yep.
Okay.
We're going back out.
Road Dog, Kelly Sutton.
I mean, I don't know how people do this with packing. I lost it. I had all my outfits planned for Stagecoach, and then I had the moment of, but what if it rains? I spill something on myself. It's too cold. It's too hot. And I overpacked. But I will tell you, I hit 50 pounds right on the money on the way out and on the way back, which is unheard of.
You had to start layering up and just putting clothes on you to get home if it went over.
I had a backpack and an extra bag, and that extra bag was so heavy. It was really heavy. But I didn't go overweight, so I was very happy with myself. Welcome back in, everybody. It's Coffee Country and Cody hanging out this morning with Iron and Wine. Been doing music for years. Sam Beam, it's good to see you. How you doing?
Great to be here. Great.
Thanks for coming in. Trekked in from North Carolina.
That's right.
Not just for us, though. You got a lot of stuff on
Mostly
tap.
for you.
Oh,
For you guys.
We'll take it. We like that. How long have you been in North Carolina?
About 10 years. We were in Texas before that, and Florida before that. Just sort of bounce around.
And how's the climate different? Because I just came from like a desert climate. Where were you in Texas?
Right outside of Austin.
Okay.
Yeah. So hot all the time.
Yep.
But yeah, no, North Carolina's not too dissimilar from here. It's beautiful.
That's
Especially
nice.
this time of year.
Oh, absolutely. And you're kind of in an epicenter over there. We have so many bluegrass friends that are still in North Carolina. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Is that influence? Do you hear that around where you are? Where are you at?
I do.
Close to Durham? Yeah.
Durham, Chapel Hill area. Yeah, there's lots of music around. Lots of musicians, a lot of traditional musicians, a lot of, whatever you want to call contemporary stuff. It's a big music place.
A lot of basketball.
It's hard to say that in Nashville.
Yeah.
But for our area, it's pretty hip.
A lot of basketball, too.
Yeah, they like to play basketball, too. Yeah. They're pretty good at it.
So Sam Beam's a good name, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you. I'm going to ask you the question you've probably been asking every interview.
Yeah.
So how does Sam Beam transition into the persona of Iron and Wine?
Oh, very, very meticulously.
Yeah.
No, it's just so, I like my name, but seeing it up on the marquee next to Iron and Wine, Iron and Wine just kind of wins out.
Okay.
It
It's got a good feel.
It says more about the music, too. I thought it was, the duality, Iron and Wine, sort of comments on what parts of life,
Right.
where you have the good and the bad.
Yeah.
I just thought I try to bring all that kind of stuff into the music, and so I felt like the title kind of put a stamp on it.
You
Yeah.
give folks not only a sensation but a visual automatically. Like people are
Oh,
going to
sure.
see colors. They're
There you
going to
go.
get an image of you
Yeah.
and what your music sounds like. That's really smart.
That's right.
I like
Well,
it.
I'm not smart, but I appreciate it.
So I was telling my wife, she always asks, who's coming in studio, who'd you have in? And I mentioned, we got Iron and Wine coming in. Sam is coming in. She goes, oh, my God, no. Oh, my God, Twilight soundtrack.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that was,
Oh,
how big
yeah.
of a deal was that?
Pretty big deal.
Yeah. yeah.
People like that movie.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The song was not written for the movie, though, right? You had
No.
the song, and it
Yeah.
just fit the
Has
scene
nothing-
perfectly,
Yeah,
right?
it has nothing to do with vampires.
Right. yeah.
No, the story that I heard is Kristen Stewart. They were blocking out this dance scene, and the record had just come out, and she was listening to it on her headphones, and it's a waltz.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, maybe this will fit, and so they just put it on the PA so people could get the movement, and they heard it so many times that the director and the producer, well, I guess we got to use that song.
Oh,
Wow.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh man, tell me about it.
You need to write her a Christmas card.
I do, like every year. I haven't got one back.
That's all right. So when did you discover music? Like how old were you when you said, yeah, this is for me?
Oh, I started really late. I had studied artwork and making art, visual art, and I went to film school. Like I thought I was going to do film work or something. But music, I always enjoyed music. Late my mid-20s.
Okay.
I started writing songs. I got a way to record music, like a 4-track or something, and it became making something rather than just tooling around. And so
that's
I was like
cool.
making things.
That's very cool. So when did you discover that you could play? Was that something that you'd done when you were a kid? Or?
Yeah, just fool
Okay.
around, cowboy chords and punk rock songs, as a teenager, with everybody.
That needs to be the name of an album.
Cowboy chords and punk rock songs.
Like,
I love
how
that.
awesome
That
is
is a great
that?
title. Yeah.
When you said that, I'm like, oh, I would buy that album
Yeah.
tomorrow.
We'll give you that for
Cool,
free,
man.
Sam.
Yeah.
That's,
First one's free. That's amazing.
Well, discovering music in your early 20s, that's really, as someone in their late 20s, that's really awesome to hear that you wanted to hone a new craft, because I feel like so many
Yeah.
people can kind of get into a rhythm of, oh, well, this is my life now, and I don't have time to pursue something that I love. I need to get into the system.
I think you sound like you think I had a plan. Like I was just, this is happening now.
so what was your major at Florida State?
Filmmaking.
Oh, they did have film. Okay, I didn't realize that.
Oh, yeah, they had a big, or they still do. It's a
Yeah.
huge filmmaking program. It's housed. The sound stages are underneath they're built inside the football stadium, which is really
What?
interesting.
Oh
on the
wow!
weekends.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I didn't
yeah.
know that. That's very cool.
Yeah.
Well, that comes in handy if you're going to be doing some videos.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you done a lot of your own?
I did. Yeah, I used to do a bunch of them. I've done a few over the years for me and for other people.
That's very cool. How many
Yeah.
different albums have you put out now?
Too many.
Oh,
It's
come
like-
on.
This is the 7th Iron and Wine proper record. There's a lot of collaborations and small records and shorties.
That's good,
lot
though.
of
Favorite
records and stuff.
collaboration so far? Who's it been?
I do a lot of music with Calexico. I've done 2 records with them over the year. They're a band from Tucson, Arizona. Some great friends of mine. I did a fun covers record with my friend Ben Bridwell from Band of Horses. I don't know if you've ever heard of this band.
Love Band of Horses.
They're pretty good. I grew up with Ben in Columbia, South Carolina, so we're good buddies. I did a record of duets with Jessica Hoop a couple years ago. Yeah, I love collaborations. It's
Those are the fun ones. Yeah. And you've got a new one out that you just dropped.
Yeah, this
New
one's
Light?
called Light Verse. It's a brand new record. Got that new baby record smell.
You just took the plastic off of it.
And for those locally, you'll be out at Grimey's this afternoon
This
playing and
afternoon,
signing
yeah,
copies.
Yeah, and then back at the Ryman in August.
Yeah.
Oh,
We got
that's very cool.
one thing about I'm a vinyl collector, and the one thing I love about Nashville is we got a lot of good record stores. There are a lot of cities that don't, but we do. Well, you mentioned Columbia, South Carolina. Papa Jazz Records is one of my favorite record stores.
Listen to you, man.
Right at 5 Points.
I used to steal so many cassettes from that place.
Not outing yourself on TV.
You got to go back and be like, hey, can I do an in-store for free? Because I feel like I owe you
Yeah.
guys.
I owe you a few back.
That's amazing that you know
Yeah.
that place.
Coffee, Country, and Cody on WSM.
Hanging out right now with Sam Beam. You know him as Iron and Wine. You love his music. He's in town. He's going to go hang out with our friends over at Grimey's. I mean, is it hard for you to go in there and not buy something? Because I would immediately start perusing.
It is, yeah. It is. It's like trying to work at an ice cream shop. That was
I worked in an ice cream shop. That was my
did?
first job. I was at Dairy Queen.
You never tried any of it, did
Oh
you?
no, you know what was interesting, and I don't think Grimey, if you're listening, don't do this. But they would give us as much free ice cream as we wanted because they knew we would get sick of it, and then we wouldn't
Burned out, right?
Yeah, we wouldn't be tempted.
I'm
So
gonna try that today.
yeah, we would do that. We would make all kinds of concoctions and just see, and then we were done. But yeah, record stores a little different.
Yeah.
Different products.
You referenced you'll be back in town August the 24th, headlining the Ryman Auditorium.
Oh, very cool.
You've gotten to play that historic stage a few times. What's that experience like?
Oh, it's incredible. I mean, one, if you're into the history of it, like me, it's really exciting. But the sound in there is great, and the crowd is so warm and friendly. It's just, there's nothing else like it.
Yeah, and for 2,300 seats, it's a nice sized place, but they feel like they're on top
Super
of you.
close.
Yeah.
They feel right there, just the way it's shaped. It's not deep; it's kind of wide.
Love that. Thank you for doing that. Iron
for
and
having me.
Wine. So what album is that on the new album?
That's on the new record. Yeah,
I
that's
love
right.
it.
It's called Light Verse.
Light Verse. It's out now.
You know, it's interesting. We grow up with certain numbers in mind. If you're a radio person or a music person, you know 500,000 is gold. You know, 1 million is platinum. But streaming has kind of thrown those numbers out the window.
Yeah.
And the fact that just on Spotify, we're almost 1 billion, and never mind Amazon Music and Apple Music.
Yeah.
I don't know,
But
man.
was
I was told there'd be no math.
Yeah, well, no. But was
That's what I'm saying.
What was the time when you realized that I've gone from a few people knowing who I am to lots of people are listening now?
Yeah.
Was there a song? Was there an album? Was there a moment?
There was an early. I had a song on a movie soundtrack called Garden State, which kind of
Oh, yeah.
bump. Yeah, that was the early bump, and then the Twilight thing was the one.
Sure.
It's like, oh, check it out, twice as many people.
Yeah.
Was it almost immediate after it came out?
That
Oh,
was
really? So
people
you're
liked
like,
that movie.
you're doing a show, and then all of a sudden everyone is singing it back to you.
It was a big deal. Yeah. Still is. That's still the one.
I was gonna say I was typing to Jeff Roberts in Master Control a little earlier. The song on the soundtrack you were on raised an entire generation of people, myself
right.
included. So this is just super cool. Yeah.
We love that. I think we have time to do one more live song if you want to do it.
Sure, yeah, let's do one. This one's called Anyone's Game. Yeah, it's called Anyone's Game. I don't know. It's influenced by, inspired by. There was a Serbian. I know this sounds lame.
No, it's okay.
Inspired by a Serbian poet named Vasko Popo, who this is ridiculous on the show. Who describe? He has a series of poems called Games, which describe life as but they sound like instructions to like children's games, like
Oh, fun.
like hide and seek and stuff like that. So it's inspired by that.
I love this.
Anyway, if that makes any sense.
It does.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in this morning.
Thanks for having me.
All right, going to be at Grimey's what time?
Grime is at 3 this afternoon.
3 this afternoon.
Have fun.
And real quick, you got a cool. I wish I was in New York on May 13th, but the music of Crosby, Stills, and Nash
Yes.
are doing. I could so hear that, obviously. So
Yeah, they're a big influence on me. I
yeah.
love music.
Got a favorite? I know it's hard to pick from that
Yeah,
catalog.
I mean, so many.
Yeah.
I always liked their version of Woodstock. Sweet Judy Blue Eyes is pretty great.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's so many great songs.
That's very cool. And Sean Colvin's going to be there. Steve Earle.
Yeah.
He's going to be hanging out with y'all. Guster. Oh, my gosh. What a lineup. This
Yeah.
is going to be awesome.
Do you know what you're
man.
singing that night, or is it?
I'm singing. I can't remember the tune. I'm terrible with titles, but it's one of Crosby's solo
Okay.
off that first solo record
Yeah.
that he did. Yeah.
I think we need to just road trick. Because we've got
That would
be a
Yola.
fun- that would be a
Yola's
fun
going to be there. Grace Potter.
Come on.
Todd Rundgren. Like,
Oh,
we've got
wow.
all of our buddies.
Yeah.
We just get on the road. And
All right.
You got room in the van?
You're assuming that I have a van.
Well, you got room in the back
the
seat.
I'm sorry. You got room in the private jet?
Yeah.
There it is.
It's called Uber.
Oh, man. Thanks for coming in to see us.
Yeah, thank you.
All
Thanks
the
for having
best
me.
to you. New
Likewise.
album, Light Verse, Iron and Wine. That's Sam Beam in the studio with us. We've got more right here on Coffee Country and Cody. Don't go away. Welcome back, everybody. Coffee Country and Cody. We're so happy that you're hanging out with us this morning. We already had a full house. I thought you guys knew it was going to be like a slow Tuesday. And then I come in and I'm like, oh, there's nothing slow about this show.
We're running.
Making things happen.
Yes.
You got stuff to do, people to see. Bring them in. Let's let them play.
Yep.
And we're talking about entertainment headlines as well. So just came back from California. Crazy time. Stagecoach. It was awesome. Thank you to all of our friends that made that happen. Takeaways for me. I did find out Wiz Khalifa will do a country album at some point in his life.
Mm-hmm. Loves the Gatlin brothers.
We had a full-on discussion about the Gatlins telling me all of their number one songs always started with the chorus first.
Oh, please you have to tell Larry Gatlin this at some point next time you see him.
So he was just talking about why he liked country music, because I'm like, it's Wiz Khalifa, who is like not a country artist.
Yep.
And I said, are you going to do country? He said, yeah. And he said, but it's going to take a while. I want to do it naturally. I don't want to do it because I'm jumping on the bandwagon or because it's forced. He said, I just really love songwriting and I love the way that songs are written in country music. And he broke it down. And it blew my mind.
Well, how crazy that he picked up on that, because I've listened to the Gatlin Brothers my whole life, and I know those songs by heart. And until Larry came in studio one day and said, every song starts with the chorus, I never would have put two and two together. And the fact that he picked up on it just like that.
It was so smart. He goes, it's because, your brain wants that repetition. Your brain wants to know something that it's familiar with. So the quicker it becomes familiar with something, the bigger hit it's going to be.
I think Larry said that's the main course. Give him the main course right away. Why make him wait?
It's brilliant. Yeah. It's brilliant. So anyway, I'm a big fan. Okay. Also a big fan of Post Malone doing 90s covers. I was like, there was not one song that he did during his set that I didn't know the words to and I didn't sing at the top of my lungs. Right. So that just made me super happy.
And I'm proud of you that you stayed for the late shows, because, you work all day and you're in the heat. It's so easy to say, I'm tired. I just want to go back to the condo. I'll stay late tomorrow. So, but when you miss those opportunities, you sometimes don't get them back. So I'm glad you did that.
We didn't stay for the late.
Well, there was the Diplo overnight, right? Okay.
Diplo honky tonk was lit, and I did not. Girl, I didn't even try. We went home after whoever the headliner was at night. We would wrap up and we would stay for some of that, and then we would leave before the crowd started. But the honky tonk would go until 2 a.m. some nights.
Sure.
Insane.
And I'm just like, I don't have that in me.
Diplo's a different breed of human.
He is a different breed of human, and let me just tell you, everyone loves him.
Yes.
And the honky tonk setup, they had a full stallion that was hanging from the tent, full size. Like, think of the horses we had at the Wild Horse Saloon.
Yep.
He's performed there last year.
But it was all rhinestoned. The entire thing.
That's so cool.
I wanted it.
Yes.
I was like, I don't know where I'd put it, but I really liked it.
Have been dying to ask you all morning.
Yes.
Okay, what was the cringiest thing that you saw an influencer or somebody doing while you were there?
I mean, take your pick, because there were a lot.
Okay.
I would say the girls that would come in just to do pictures, and most of them did not have on shorts.
Yes.
It was more like a bikini bottom with a cowboy hat and boots.
And they didn't watch any music. They were just there like, let's
Of course,
do it for
yeah.
the gram.
And they had no clue what was happening around them. They were there for the pictures. And that's fine. You know what? Everybody to themselves. But the thing that got me was, and this is really funny too, cowboy boots are cute, but they are not comfortable.
No.
Unless you have a pair of like really well broken in Lucchese's or, some
insoles in
right.
them.
You've got something that you've worn for a very long time. They are not comfortable. And watching these poor girls try to walk around this big old festival. The number one line was to get into Hey Dudes. The Hey Dudes shoes. They had a place there, and you could customize your own pair of shoes. And I think they gave a lot of them away. But the line for Hey Dudes shoes was longer than any other line at the festival, including the beer tents, because everyone was like, these boots were a terrible idea. I need some of those soft shoes. So just putting that out there. I teased this. We got to get to it because I want to make sure everybody knows. John Bon Jovi considered retiring, and we have Shania Twain to thank for him staying in the music industry.
Oh, wow.
Isn't this
Okay.
cool? So he actually has a docuseries that's out on Hulu called Thank You, Good Night, the Bon Jovi story.
Renee just watched this over the weekend. She said it was fantastic.
I have not watched it, but he's recounting what it was like to go through vocal surgery, a very challenging vocal surgery. He said his soul sister, Shania Twain, helped him through the process of getting his voice back. According to the documentary, he said he started having vocal issues in 2015. He really considered, just calling it quits. In 2022, he finally got medical help, had a serious conversation with his wife, Dorothea, and he said, if I don't, I'm going to be forced to retire. After figuring out that he had the same doctor as Shania Twain, he reached out to her for some advice and guidance, and she encouraged him, reassuring him he would be okay after the surgery. He said, you know what? That led me to think the recovery process would be quicker than it actually was. It did take a while, but she pulled my leg a little bit because she told me I would be done a lot sooner than I was. However, she also told me I was going to be okay. So just sweet that, she had those encouraging words for him, because that's really scary if that's your whole living and you just don't know. I mean,
that's us.
It's us on some level. I kind of sound a little scratchy right now, and I'm like, I should be taking better care of my voice. But I wasn't.
You were in the
inhaling-
desert. Yes.
I was inhaling a lot of dust. So.
And if Shania told me that any of my problems were going to be okay, how do you not just believe her and go with it?
100%. Yeah.
Everything's fine now.
We love you, Shania. Thank you.
Is there a special, is it just a normal bandana, or is there a special high dust proof bandana?
Do you know what bandana I took, Aaron? Our matching bandanas that we got at Lainey Wilson's #1 party that had our names on them.
That's so perfect.
And it worked well?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was great. But you know what was even better is just taking an N95 mask.
I was going to ask if you saw people with that, because that seems like the no-brainer. But then it's really warm, and that's
And it rubs your makeup off, Charlie.
Well, that was the thing. I would wear the bandana on the way out because we were on the back of a golf cart, and it was just dust. And they actually had trucks that were coming out and spraying water to keep the dust down. But we wore a bandana for the way in so it wouldn't mess up everything. And then on the way home, I just put on an N95 mask so it would keep all the dust out. And I had to buy saline rinse and all kinds of stuff.
For your eyes?
Smart.
All of it. Yeah. So, it's beautiful. It was just the actual, palm trees and beautiful roses and everything else. I'm like, I see why people like it out here. It's real pretty. Yeah, but it's not Nashville. So I came back home just for a couple weeks.
Because you had to.
Because I had to. Going back out. Thank you guys for hanging out with us this morning, and thank you to our friends that came in with us. MacKenzie Porter, who's going to be at the Grand Ole Opry, and Iron and Wine. Sam Beam, he was fantastic.
Yeah, really enjoyed it. Hopefully he'll come back see us in August when he's doing the Ryman.
Oh, that would be very
That'll be
cool.
a lot of fun. Yeah.
Hey, speaking of the Opry, tonight I'll be on the podium with Daly and Vincent. Dylan James is making his Opry debut. Charlie McCoy's going to be there. As we mentioned, MacKenzie Porter, Don Schlitz, Killer Bees, Chapel Hart, and Ashley McBride. And if you're going to the Opry tonight, go to the Opry shop, buy one of McKenzie's new albums. The first 80 will get to hang out with us after the show and do a Q&A with her and a private performance. And we're back tomorrow.
We are?
You back?
The onlys.
All right. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.